Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 119 is Roller Coaster Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon is a lot of things to me. It's SimCity, but without ever feeling overwhelming. It's a physics game, but without feeling tedious. It's a role-playing game, actually, and I'll expand on that in a bit. But the biggest thing Roller Coaster Tycoon is, to me, is Lemonade Stand on crack. If you're unfamiliar, Lemonade Stand is originally a text-based game from the 70s that has you running, of course, a lemonade stand. You set prices, adjust your recipe, and have to buy ingredients based on forecasting demand. It's actually a lot of fun, at least to me, because I'm like weird and stuff, and has been remade several times over with graphical interfaces and such. With Roller Coaster Tycoon, you're doing all of that, but across an entire theme park on top of the Sim City. Build your park up from nothing, including pathways, rides, shops, faculty, fences, decorations, everything. And then each part of that you can micromanage to your heart's content, including marketing and advertising decisions. Of course, all of this costs money, and like any business, you do need to spend money to make money, they say, but at some point you've got to be in the black, or else you can't keep the doors open. One of the things I enjoy most about the game is the fine-tuning of all of the numbers, all of the pathways, the other little optimizations you can make, turning it into one well-oiled machine. But like all machines, they take maintenance, which is where your handymen and mechanics come in, keeping spaces clean and presentable, and also keeping, of course, the rides running. You can play endlessly like this if you want, but at some point it's fun to try out something new. There's tons of parks you can take over, and that's where the role-playing element comes in. Most of the different scenarios you can do involve taking over an existing park and then having to meet some benchmark within a set time frame. If you've ever watched Gordon Ramsay's Hotel Hell, it can sometimes kind of feel like that. You're thrust into a business that's struggling and doing something probably very stupid, and you need to turn the ship around, identifying all of the sometimes not so obvious problems and getting everything back on track. Some of these parks allow you to do some really unique things, like the one that's split in half by a highway, or the one that's around a gigantic lake with pretty much nothing else. Of course, one of the really interesting things is the namesake of the game, the roller coasters. There are loads of rides you can insert, but the coasters are definitely the most interesting. In addition to having loads of different pre-made designs you can pick from, all with their own interesting tidbits like speed, risk of nausea, and of course, how it all Tetrises together in your park, you can build your own. I did not record any of that, mostly so as to not embarrass myself. The last time I played this game was over 20 years ago, and I sucked at it then, so I didn't want to be even worse now. Granted, I have a much better grasp on physics and conservation of momentum now, so I'd be more likely to build a roller coaster that doesn't get the riders stuck compared to when I was, like 6. Regardless, I'm delighted to report that my opinion of this game wasn't just rooted in nostalgia, and coming back to it after all this time, it's actually just as fun, maybe even more now that I grasp more of the business side of the game than I remembered. It's yet another situation I've put myself in where I want to keep playing, but have to move on for the daily release schedule. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 118th favorite game, where I go bowling and catch a comedy show.